Okay, let's talk about nutrition, because let's face it, it's nutrition, what you eat, is the most direct form of connection that us human beings have to the planet, to the earth. You're taking a living organism, you're consuming this living organism in the form of plant, in the form of animal, and it's going through your body and it's giving you nourishment in a certain way, giving you energy in a certain way, being processed in a certain way, and it's as direct of a connection as it gets. So it's pretty important, and I've been really into nutrition, very much so as of late. If you follow up my fitness channel, you might have seen I've been posting there quite frequently as of late. So what I want to address here specifically isn't the technical how-to, isn't what I eat or what you should eat, or I'm not going to preach on you. I'm going to try and remove this guy out of the equation, Saeed, and his preferences and what he thinks is right and what he thinks is wrong. And I'm going to do my best here, the best that I could, to just be simply an alien who's bored and just got way too much time on his hand and decides to take a look at what's going on Earth with this species called human beings and what's happening, okay? I'm gonna do my best here. I'm gonna do my best. Not gonna be able to carry it out successfully. I have my own biases and preferences, but I will do my best. So, what I wanna talk about specifically in this video is the tendency for many people, of our brothers and sisters, to be attached to a certain label of the diet that they follow. Hi, my name is Sally and I'm a raw vegan. Or, hello, my name is John the Beast and I'm a carnivore. And I eat meat and I've been doing it for 8 years and I have never been healthier. Okay? So, and that's what I want to address here, is this tendency for people to get sort of emotionally attached to a label. Emotionally attached to a particular role, a particular team, because a lot of these diets now are becoming like religions, like sport teams, and you know, they got their own fans and their own players. Think of all the YouTubers that are either preaching this diet or that diet as like the players, and this is like the, you know, the league that we're playing, called life, called nutrition. The league is nutrition, and then these sport teams are or the players, the teams are, oh, the ketogenic diet, that's one team. Vegan, rough vegan, that's another team. You know, carnivore, that's another team. Vegetarian is another team. And you got the players. So the players would be like the YouTubers and the doctors and everybody that sort of says, hi, I'm playing for this team now. And then you see like ex-vegan turned into keto or ex-vegan turned into carnivore. Change teams, kind of like how players change their teams. And then there's the fans, the people who follow these diets and they become fanatic about it and da-da-da-da-da. It really is no different at all than sports, okay? So, for the sake of play, if we see this all happening as play, we say, Leela. We say, oh, it's just play. Oh, that's cute. That's God consciousness playing these roles, and God is playing vegan today, and that other form of God is playing ketogenic today, and that other form of God today decided to be playing for Team Carnivore, and on life goes. And if we see it as play, it's totally cool. It's totally fine. Now, the problem with a lot of our brothers and sisters is that they totally forget that they're actors on a stage. They totally forget that they're playing a game. They totally forget that actually it's the one playing with itself. Maybe they don't know this. They've never encountered, they've never had an experience that told them, hey, look, we're all one. And it's the one consciousness playing with itself. And they, you know, they tend to forget. There's a tendency to forget that that's just one custom. That's just one role they're playing. They happen to be playing it right now. And then that leads to the problem of seeing the other. Anytime we see the other as the bad guy, the bad gal, the other, you know, because they're not following what you think is morally ethical. Like maybe you think morally ethical is not to kill animals. Is not to eat animal products. Let's say you're a vegan and that's your moral stance, then you might fall into the trap of taking the high moral ground and saying, well, okay, anybody who eats meat They are partaking in murder, they're partaking in bad vibrations, bad vibes, etc. Okay? And then placing that moral judgment and taking that high moral ground simply means you're still stuck in the illusion of duality. What's the duality here? Us and them. So as long as we're stuck in the mentality of us and them, without recognizing that it's all us, it's all one, and we're just playing us and them here. I'm playing vegan, you're playing ketogenic, and guess what? Or let's say carnivore. Guess what? Both need each other. The game, two teams need each other for there to be a game. So, hey, if you're a vegan and you're really passionate about being a vegan, or if you're a carnivore and you're really passionate about being a carnivore, guess what? You and those other bad, skinny, scrawny vegans and those meat-eating murderers, carnivores, both of you need each other. How about that one, huh? How about that one? Both of you need each other because that's the game. You've got to play the game. You've got to keep the game going, right? I mean, if you're a carnivore and there are no vegans out there, how are you going to make fun of those skinny, scrawny vegans? And how are you going to be so proud of your carnivore identity? Really, you need each other, just like the day needs the night. So in a way, you both love each other. You both need each other there, so you can keep playing your role. You can keep playing you can keep carrying out the lila, the divine play, the divine dance. And secretly, you both love each other because you love your identity and you love your team. You're really passionate about your team, and unfortunately, that team, that identity you would not be as passionate about it if had not there been something else, if there had not been contrast. You see, I always say, us Canadians, we really appreciate summer more than most people in the world because we get these brutal winters. I mean, it's brutal as I'm making it, okay? Like, I mean, brutal. It's January of the time I'm making this, okay? Brutal. Every day is like -20, okay? Every day, right? So when the summer comes, we really appreciate it because we have the contrast. So I'm walking today, I'm freezing my ass off, and I'm like, thank you. I'm thanking God for this because I know when the summer comes, I will be very, extremely appreciative. So guess what, my fellow brothers and sisters? Guess what, vegans? Guess what, carnivores? Guess what, ketogenic diet? You guys need the high carb team. You need, yeah, that's how the game is kept going. You need each other, okay? But never for a second forget that you are essentially the same, like you're essentially the one consciousness playing with itself, okay? So you can carry on these roles from a playful place, not from a hateful, resentful, and moralist stance. Like, I'm better than you because I eat this food, or I'm better than you because I don't kill animals, or I'm better than you because I'm getting all this protein and I got higher testosterone from the meat. Now I'm a man, you know, all that stuff. So, yeah, as it turns out, you need each other to keep the game going. Now, I want to use a few examples here to illustrate to you how you can keep playing your role. I'm not telling you to stop doing your thing. I'm not telling you to stop being carnivore or vegan or okay? No, we got to keep the lila going, the dance, the divine dance. But I'm going to demonstrate to you a few ways to keep playing your game from a more loving, compassionate place. First example, I watched a video by Sadhguru, and he was hanging around with Chef Gordon Ramsay, okay? That guy that's always swearing, like every 2 seconds. So Ramsay came and he visited him in his ashram in India, I think. And yeah, he was hanging around with him, and Sadhguru is a vegetarian, right? And, you know, he's a yogi. Yogis are vegetarians. And they're hanging out. They're, you know, Ramsay's took a dip in like they have like an ice cold spring or something, and then they sat down and they're eating. And then Sadhguru is explaining to him how eating live food is better for you, etc. And Ramsay's like, arguing with him. He's like, no, but like, I don't see the difference between eating plants and eating meat. And Sadhguru is looking at him, trying to explain to him, and he's doing it in a very playful way. He's not judging Ramsey. He's not like, you meat-murdering, meat-eating, inhumane, insert your whatever your moral judgments are. He's just hanging around with him, and he's like, they're cracking jokes, like Sadhguru's laughing, like Ramsey's laughing, they're cracking jokes, and he's just explaining to him, and he's got total compassion. He's got total compassion for him. He's not judging him. And then I go read the comments, of course, everybody's like, Ramsey, how dare you argue, you know, like, don't you know what's better for you, like, and then, you know, but of course, Sadhguru's resting more in a non-dualistic, compassionate, wise, loving place. He's not going to judge Ramsey or anybody else for eating meat or right? No, he's there sitting there compassionately and lovingly, and he's just kind of explaining to him, teaching him. And Ramsey's not convinced, and Ramsey's, you know, he's arguing with him. But it's cool. Like, it's cool. Why? So what? Of course, Sadhguru at that level of consciousness, I'm assuming he's a yogi. He knows this is a play. He knows this is a game. He knows these are all roles. And, you know, he's kind of, you know, I mean, Sadhguru talks about not eating meat. He talks about it. It's not that he's not taking a moral stance. And I'm going to explain to you that in a second. Okay, we're going to use another example. So that's example number one. You can disagree with someone. Like Kabir says, there's a beautiful poet, Kabir, Sufi, I believe, Sufi poet. He says, do what you want with another being, with another human being, but never keep them out of your heart. Okay, and in that specific case, you can just tell Sadhguru never for a second kept Ramsey out of his heart. That's one example. Now, the other example is from the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, and this is basically Krishna. Krishna is the incarnation of Vishnu, right? So he's the incarnation of God. And Arjuna is there, and he's about to fight his cousins, the bad guys, right? I mean, they're greedy. They want it all for them. They don't want to share it. They want it all. They don't want to give any little piece of land to their cousins, right? And, you know, the Arjuna's got to fight his cousins, and he's got to take a moral stance here. He's the good guy. And he's tormented. He feels compassion. He doesn't want to fight his cousins. He doesn't want to fight his teachers. He doesn't want to fight these people that he grew up with, that he played with, that he learned from. Doesn't want to fight them. So then God, Krishna, says, you're going to have to fight. And he tells him, look, what do you think death is? Death is a joke. He's telling him death is a joke. In other words, he's telling him, look, like, this is just a game. It's just, you got to play your role. And he tells him, you've got to fulfill your duty, play your role, do your dharma, fulfill your duty. You've got to fight, stand up and fight. That's what Krishna tells him, stand up and fight. But then he's telling him, you know, death is a joke. Why are you so butthurt about that you're going to die and your cousins are going to die, Like, what are you talking about here? This is a joke. You know, like, essentially, that's what Krishna telling him in a nutshell. And he tells him, get up and fight your cousins. So he's, in a way, telling him, take a moral stance. But, you know, just take it lightly. Recognize that death is kind of a joke, actually. Because, like, your energy just is transformed. You're eternal. He's telling him, you're Atman, you're Brahman, you're eternal. You're not this flesh, and nobody that you're killing, you're going to be killing is flesh. So then get up and fight, fulfill your duty, do your dharma, play your role in the lila, in the divine play, in the divine act. So in a way, he's telling him, take a moral stance, but take it lightly. And that's what I'm trying to portray in this video. I'm not telling you to stop taking whatever stance you are. You might think, you know, an all meat diet is better, and whatever. We should be eating animals. Our ancestors grew up like that. Or, hey, we shouldn't kill anything. We're destroying the planet. Let's all turn into vegan and eat raw food because it's got enzymes and it's good for you, etc. Right? Or if you're a vegetarian, right? You take the stance that you need to take. You play your role, fulfill your dharma. Maybe it is your dharma to be a vegan, to preach about, you know, how we should be more compassionate with the planet. Maybe it is your dharma to be preaching how we should go back into a hunter-gatherer lifestyle and hunt for animals and drink raw milk and etc. It is your dharma. Fulfill it. Fulfill your duty. Okay? I mean, this is all a game. We're all just actors on the stage playing our roles. Fulfill it. I'm not telling you to let go of the identity. I'm not telling you to let go of it. But I'm telling you, do not take it seriously, for God's sake. Do not take it seriously. Take it lightly. Do what you will, but don't forget. Don't keep the other person, the other being, out of your heart. Because if, let's say, for example, you're a vegan and you're really passionate about animals, you don't want to see them slaughtered, you think we shouldn't kill them at all, killing is terrible, right? And, you know, we shouldn't consume their milk, blah, 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 all that stuff. Okay. Now, here's the thing. You're feeling great compassion for other beings, animals, right? Great compassion. That's very admirable. But there's also human beings. And if you're going to go and start fighting other human beings, and you're going to start to belittle them and judge them, and try to fit them into a certain model of reality of how you think it should be, and you start to feel morally superior and just better than them, that is not a very compassionate act. So you're being compassionate to some form of beings, but not to others, which are human beings. Now I can hear you saying the argument, okay, well, we should all be compassionate towards animals and we shouldn't kill them. So like, you know, people who eat meat are not compassionate. Look, I'm not in cosmic government. I'm not in cosmic council. I don't give out the roles, and I don't think you do neither. I think we're just given the roles and we play them. This is not for you to decide. It is not for you to decide what they should do. It is not for you to decide what is right and how they should be, and it's not for you to decide whether they're being compassionate or not, because it is not for you. You know that saying, only God can judge me? It's true. You know, that's not for you to do. What for you is to do is to practice compassion towards all of beings. That includes human beings, that includes other non-human beings, plants, animals, okay? That includes all beings. And if you're doing that, you're doing a good job at that, a truly good job at that, you will feel nothing but compassion and love towards these terrible meat-eating people. These inhumane, terrible. If you're really practicing compassion and you're really connecting and you're really operating from that non-dual Christ consciousness, that Krishna consciousness, you will feel nothing but compassion and love towards all beings, including your fellow human beings that you happen to be playing this game with, this lila, this divine dance that you happen to be dancing with at the moment, in different teams, in different oppositions. Okay? Very important. Very important. The highest place we can get to is that unconditional love. If you're on the spiritual path, that's where it ultimately leads, because it's all one. It's acceptance of what is, acceptance of all of creation, because you, the creator, the one, created all of it. You've created all of it. You've created suffering. I mean, this is all, there's no choice. This is all written anyway. It is written for you to be a vegan at the moment. It is written for you to be a carnivore at the moment. It is written for you. It's all written. It's just you're playing it out. You're playing it out, okay? It's perfectly written. And all the suffering and all the destruction of the planet that is happening, it's all perfectly written. Just because it's perfectly written doesn't mean you don't play your part in either alleviating the suffering or doing what you need to do. Okay? Really, like, it's very important to never do what you will with another, but don't keep them out of your heart. Do not keep them out of your heart. If you think that Jesus Christ was hanging around on the cross, looking at the people that are crucifying him, that are nailing him, if you think that he had even a little iota of resentment or hate or harbored any little atom of negative feeling towards the soldiers that were nailing him, you have no idea who Jesus Christ is. Okay? Jesus Christ was looking at the people who were crucifying him with absolute, total compassion, total unconditional love, saying, hey, I see how it is. I see how the game is. You've got to do your part. You've got to crucify me. That's the way the buck skids. That's the role. That's central casting for the night. We need a self-realized being in the form of Jesus Christ, and we need other soldiers who are really stuck in the illusion of separation, and they don't see that it's all us. And I guess here you go. You're hired to be Jesus. You're a self-realized being. Go down here, and here are some soldiers. You're hired to crucify him and nail him, and let's get on with it. Let's carry on the show. And Jesus, being the self-realized being for the night, because of central casting, he's gone on an assignment. His assignment is to be Jesus. Says, well, it is what it is. Says, you know, they tell him to, he tells his disciples the day before, tomorrow is the big day, folks. And he's saying it very casually. He's carrying on very casually. He says, tomorrow's the big day. All right, I guess I got to go get crucified. That's the way it is. That's the way the buck skids. We've got to do that, right? But he was 100 bazillion% looking at the people who were crucifying him with total compassion, with total love. Hey, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. So let me ask you this, as say someone who is a carnivore, can you look at the opposition, which remember you need and you secretly love? Can you look at those scrawny vegans and look at them with total love and compassion and say, I disagree with you. I think you need meat and animal products, but look at them with total love. Feel total love for them. And if you can't do that, then work on that. Work on that. Same thing with you being, say, a vegan. Can you look at your fellow meat-eating murderers, okay? Can you look at them with total love and compassion, with total understanding from your heart and say, well, I think we shouldn't. I think, you know, frankly, you shouldn't be eating this, you know, You play your role, like Arjuna had to, you know, fight his cousins. But then still love them. And love is a vibration. So if the other feels your love, it's okay. Then it's this mutual recognition that we've just got to all play our part. We've got to all do our thing here. Okay? And before I finish off this video, if you think God gives a shit what diet you eat or what nutrition you follow, what label you're in, what team you're playing on, oh boy, God is all love, all pervasive, all unconditional, all accepting, unconditional love. Unconditional love, okay? That's what God is, unconditional love. Okay? That's what God is. That's what being a self-realized being. You have this guy right here, Sri Ramana Maharshi, okay? If you think this guy, I mean, this guy was a yogi, was a vegetarian, right? If you think this guy would not love another vegetarian just as much as he would love a carnivore, learn about this guy then. I would highly suggest you pick up this. Who am I? That's what, like, at the highest level of this game that we're playing, it's unconditional love. You love it all because you created it all. I mean, it's all happening in your head anyway. It's all an illusion. You've created it all. You love it all. You love the whole thing. You love the fact that we're playing all this. You love the Leela, the play. You love all these different teams that we root for, all these different identities, social roles. You love it because you created it. You created the whole game and it's perfect and it's amazing. And you love all of beings. You love it all. Accept it all. Okay? From that place, go on, play your game. Go on, do your thing. And that's about it. Okay? If you are mildly interested in all the concepts that I talk about in these videos, you know, which ultimately is enlightenment, check out the report that I wrote called 7 Pillars of Enlightenment. And I arrogantly called it the Enlightenment, knowing that I am full of shit, knowing that I am anything but enlightened. However, because I know I am full of shit and I'm anything but enlightened, I wrote this report, 7 Pillars of Enlightenment, as a way of keeping me accountable and having like a systematic way to follow on this path to liberation. So check it out. It's 11 pages. It's for free. Link for it down below in the comments, in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, be kind to one another. And until next time, may the force be with you.